All right, morning everybody. Welcome to another round of coffee and questions. What's today's topic? Let's talk about toilet augers, and in particular, a couple of suggestions. We'll talk about the Bauer from out at Harbor Freight. Is it a good deal? Is it not? And a couple of alternatives. Now, I belong to a couple of forums and a club locally where we do show and tell on tools, and there's probably about 24 members, but we don't always all meet at the same time. Anyway, this time around, we decided to discuss augers. And there's a lot of us out there, we work full-time jobs, and we do things on the side gigs, side hustle, whatever. And a lot of us do kind of handyman kind of work and what have you. And one of the things is I told them an auger, having one, is a great idea. Now, a long time back, well, first let's start with this. Let me show you the Harbor Freight, the Bauer auger. Okay, so there's also different manufacturers of these augers. Now, I have one here. Okay, I've had this one for years. I mean, probably 10 years easily. Now, as I remember at the time when I got this one, there wasn't really a Harbor Freight anywhere around me at the time. Now there is, of course, but I probably got it out at Home Depot. I could have gotten it somewhere else, I don't remember, but it's a damn good auger and it's very strong. And so there's criticisms on the Bauer. Now, there are two. They say, well, one, the handle up here on top, it breaks. It just breaks and comes apart. And I read that in the reviews. And then the other one is the very tip of it, it breaks. Okay, now those are very few in the criticism area because out at the club, I counted, I asked around. There are 5 members that have the Bauer, and they say it works fine. They haven't had any problems with it. And then there's a few of us that have the rigid. Or these other manufacturers that are equally as good. And I'm not saying they're not, but here's my point for a second. If you want a way on the side to make some money, now above me about 5 or 6 streets, there's condo complex and some really big apartment buildings. So all I did is off of my computer, which didn't cost me anything long time ago, I printed off some cards. Toilets plugged up, call me. Because what they were doing when I talked to them is we have a place out here, Roto-Rooter, and there's a couple of others. Well, they charge a service charge, and then they charge you for the first hour. So easily you're way over $100 just to come unplug the toilet. So I told them, hey, call me. If you don't mind giving me just a little bit of time, either before work or after work, I will come over and unplug all the toilets that are plugged up, because that was the thing that was most frequently happening is people will flush anything down the toilet, it plugs, they call the landlord has to do something. And I said, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll charge you $65. That's a one flat fee, $65. And I started getting lots of phone calls, and it's a quick way, because as long as there was somebody there and at home when I went, or the manager let me in, I would walk in and out. I probably wasn't there 5 or 10 minutes, and I could unplug a toilet at lightning speed using one of these toilet augers. Now, what I do when I use it is you'll see in the very front up here, the protective, real thick kind of coating on there, and that's so you don't scratch up that porcelain. So I have it all the way retracted. I fit it down into the hole where it's not going to mark up, the porcelain. And I start to hand crank it, and you can jam it up and down a little bit, and you'll feel it start to work its way, through that S curve of the toilet. Now this one, I believe, turns out to be a total of 6 feet. Let me measure it real quick. Okay, my mistake. If I had it to do again, I would get one that probably went out 6 feet. This one goes out 4, but I've never ran into a situation yet where it didn't unplug it for me. If the plug is farther out than that, then I would tell you to get one of the mechanical snakes, which I have one, but that's a whole different topic, a whole different video. And if I couldn't unplug it, I just didn't charge them. That was the deal that I had, but I never ran into a situation where this auger did not unplug the toilet. It's a fast, easy way to pick up a little extra money. And then somebody out at the club said, well, I don't even want to mess with that. I mean, that doesn't, blah, 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 and kept rattling on about it. And I go, okay, let me ask you something. If you bought one, even if you got the one from Bauer or one of the ones that I would suggest, besides Bauer, and I'll leave you links below. My point is, the first time you use it, even at home, the first time you use it, instead of calling one of those services, this tool paid for itself. And if you use it more than one time, you've actually saved some money, and a decent amount of money, rather than calling one of those services. Even if you found a handyman locally like me, you still would have been able to pay for this tool by its first use. So I think it's a fantastic investment. I would encourage you to think about it. Put it, if you go to the links below, I give you a couple of links, compare it to the Bauer, decide if you want to get it, from out at Harbor Freight and get the Bauer or off at least one of the links. Put it on your, your basket, your wish list, what have you, but think about it. Next time, whether you're out at Harbor Freight, maybe they'll give you another additional discount, or maybe they'll come up on sale pretty soon. I don't know. But I think there's one of them currently that I'm going to leave you on the links on, and it's on sale. And it's just a few dollars more. Now it's up to you to decide which manufacturer you think has the better built auger, right? But like I said, even if it's the Bauer, and even if you had a problem with it, you could probably return it. Now people say, oh, they won't take the auger back. Other people said, sure they will. I don't know if they will. You can ask them when you buy it if you run into the handle problem or the tip. I don't know. I know that like with the rigid and stuff, I've never had an issue. So that's all I can tell you on that. But remember, Harbor Freight wasn't around at the time when I got the auger, so it's worth considering. You'll save money. I know this has been a fast video, and I just wanted to bring it to you folks because, like I said, in discussion, if I feel that the content and the remarks and the criticisms are worth it, I bring it to everybody, share their own thoughts. If you know of something better, drop it in the comment below. But this video is just about the auger. We're not talking about the mechanical machines or any of the other ones. Now, I will tell you on the newer ones, like this toilet auger, you can hook up a drill to the end of it if you needed to, and you can actually, by hitting the trigger, cause it to spin. Okay, that's a really nice feature. When I bought this one, that feature wasn't there. On the next to go around, whether it was rigid or whatever I chose, that would be a nice feature, but you got to make sure that drill's powerful. I like doing them this way by hand. I think I can get plenty of pressure and oomph behind it. So I haven't really had that need to go out and buy one that's got the drill adapter, but they are out there. It is a good idea. Anyway, all right. Hope you click the link below. I hope you click subscribe and keep following me, and I'll see you folks on the next video. We'll talk about something different. Thank you. Bye-bye.